Good morning, everybody. I'm Bree, and welcome to day 4 of our new coach training. I'm really excited to share with you guys all of this information today because it is some of the core activities we need to be doing as coaches. It's going to be a lot of really good information that's going to be critical for running your business. So make sure to take notes, take screenshots, whatever you need to do. And I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint with you today so that you can see all of these vital behaviors in action. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys, and we will get started. All right. So I titled our presentation today, Rock the Basics, because like I said, what I'm going to be presenting today is very foundational for your business. It's things that you need to be doing every single day. And these are really easy activities to do. They're also really easy not to do because they don't take a lot of time. So I want you guys to kind of keep that in the back of your mind as we go through these. And just remember that these are so foundational and important for you to be doing in your business. So before we get started, I want you to take a second to think about your current job. And I put a couple different pictures of different types of jobs up here. So maybe you're someone who's working in corporate America. Maybe you're someone who is working at some sort of food industry like a coffee stand, or maybe you are in the business of taking care of others like a nurse. So if you think about the type of education you had to have to get to your current job, there was probably some sort of education, whether that means going to advanced schooling after high school or some sort of training. That person in corporate America probably took some college experience and probably took a couple of years to gain her feet in the corporate America world. That barista had to be trained on all the different types of coffee, all the different types of drinks. She didn't just walk in the store and expect to know how to make a cappuccino and what a mocha was and all of those things. And then that nurse required years of schooling. And I know for me personally as a nurse, I still am learning things every single day, 2.5 years down the road. So the point is, when you go into a new job, you probably had some background preparation and you had to have training. And that training probably took at least a couple of weeks, or if you're something like a nurse, it could have taken a couple of months. And I'm saying that as a reminder because a lot of people come into this business and they just think that they don't have to put in any work and they're just going to be handed success. But this is a job, you guys. This is a business that you now own. So I need you guys to get in that CEO mindset as we start this video. And just know that you get out of this business what you put in. So you need to have that CEO mindset. You need to be willing to put in the work. And if you do put in the work and you do these vital behaviors that are critical to your business, you will see success. But it's when you start not doing these behaviors and veering from this path, doing your own thing or not putting in the work, you're not going to see anything come out of it. And I don't want you to think that this is something that is just going to be a get rich quick scheme. This does require some work. So just think about that going in. All right, so there's this saying called never leave phase one. And this is something that you will hear a lot from coaches that have been in the business for several years. And what they mean when they say never leave phase one is never stop doing the foundational activities that made them successful. And those foundational activities have been defined for us through Beachbody, and they are called the 4 vital behaviors. So the word vital to me means something that you have to do. You have to do it every day. It's like vital signs in a hospital: your blood pressure, your heart rate, the respiration rate, the temperature, all of that stuff. It's vital for your business. It's vital to do. You can't get away from doing these things. So coaches that have been in the business, I'll use our top coach, Melanie Mitro, right now, for example. So I'm in a group with her, and she talks about never leaving phase one. And she's meaning that she's still inviting every day. She's still being proof the products work every day. She's doing daily personal development, and she's daily recognizing people in her challenge groups and on her team. So she's doing all of those 4 vital behaviors every day. And to take it even a little bit further, she's focusing 80 to 90% of her time on her own business and her own challenge groups and bringing new people into the business. She has a really large team, and she's been in this business for several years, but she knows through trial and error that when she stops focusing on these 4 vital behaviors and when she starts focusing on her team rather than her own business, her business is going to suffer. And that's not to say that she doesn't support her team. and she doesn't want them to succeed. She absolutely does. And she does support them very, very well. But you have to focus most of your energy on your own business and lead by example rather than drag people along or spoon feed them. So these are the things that you need to be focusing on the most. And we're going to go ahead and break them down. So I know that personal development wasn't listed as number one on the Beachbody for Vital Behaviors, but in my opinion, personal development is number one. I think it is the most important and undervalued vital behavior. And what I mean by undervalued vital behavior is personal development is the one that so many coaches are like, nope, I don't need to do this. And I was one of them, you guys. I totally admit I was one of them. I always thought that the personal development self-help books were so lame, and I avoided that section of the like all the bookstores and whatnot. But when I finally gave in and saw other people raving about how great personal development was, and I finally started reading my first few books, I was amazed by the fact that you could pick an area of your life that you are struggling with. You can pick a book, either a hardcover book or a book on tape, and you can listen to it or read it and apply what it says, and you can change that area of your life. And I'm not just saying that as an exaggeration. Like, I have seen it happen in so many ways. And it just helps build you up. It helps make you a better human. And it can completely change your life. I used to be such a negative person, and it's still something that I'm working on, but I would say most people now would say that I'm a positive person, and I can directly attribute that to personal development and changing my mindset. Your mindset is such a powerful thing, and it can control so much more than you think. And so by doing personal development, you are helping keep your mindset strong. You are helping keep your confidence up. There are going to be times in this business where the going gets rough and you're really frustrated, and personal development is what's going to bring you back up and light you back up. Some examples of this. So I've struggled with procrastination. So I've read Eat That Frog, Stop Procrastinating. Definitely helped with that. People that are struggling with confidence, you can read You Are a Badass and helps you with that confidence. The Compound Effect is a great book for new coaches to read. YouTube, you can search anything on YouTube that you're struggling with. Later on in this training, we'll talk about objections, which is people that say no when you invite them to challenges. You could just go into YouTube and search how to overcome objections Beachbody, and you'll have tons of videos that are from amazing top coaches on how to do that. Or you can say how to gain confidence, and there will be tons of videos on how to gain confidence. This is a TED Talk that I absolutely love by Amy Cuddy. It talks about how your body language helps shape who you are. And I've applied this to my life, and it totally works. So the whole point of personal development, you have to work on yourself before you can help others. And I really believe that as coaches, we're not just helping people with their physical attributes, we're helping them with their mind, body, and soul. And this is kind of where that piece of the mind and soul comes in, this personal development. So you can get personal development books for free. You can go to your local library, you can use YouTube, you can use TED Talks, you can use podcasts. I like to listen to it in my car instead of the radio. It's a really good way that I can get this in every single day. And not listening to the radio and listening to this instead is a really easy sacrifice. And I find that it starts my day on such a positive note because I'm listening to something really uplifting and positive and on the way to work, and I'm just in so much of a better mood. So this is recommended 10 to 20 minutes per day, and this is really easy to do, you guys. That's just like less than a chapter of a book or 10 minutes in your car on a drive. I also recommend that you read what you need. So that means if you're struggling with confidence, read something on confidence. If you're struggling with inviting people and getting out of your comfort zone, read something on that. As brand new coaches, I would recommend that you start with your very first book on either The Slight Edge or The Compound Effect. So look those up, The Slight Edge or The Compound Effect. Those books really talk about how the daily activities that you do will compound over time to create great things. And I don't want to give away too much of the book or speak too long on it, but that would be where I'd recommend starting with you. And we will share a document with lots of personal development recommendations. Another thing you can do for personal development is plug into the National Wake Up Call. So this is something you should be listening to every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is the number that you can call. And you should be getting an email to whatever you signed up with your Team Beachbody account that reminds you of these calls. There's also archives of all of the calls that have been held ever since they were hosting the National Wake Up Call, which you can search for, and you can look through and see if you can find things that you need. So the National Wake Up Call is put on by Beachbody Corporate. In the beginning of the call, they're going to recognize all of the rank advancements. So coaches that have gone to Diamond or Star Diamond, which we'll talk about ranks later on in your training. And then they invite someone on the call that is being successful in the business, and they will talk about a certain topic. And the call lasts about 45 minutes, and you can catch the repeat too if you're working on Mondays at 8 a.m. We also have team calls. They are the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. We pick a topic every month, and that call lasts about 45 minutes as well. The third Thursday of the month, we have an advanced team training call, which new coaches, you're welcome to go on that if you would like, but it is a little bit more advanced topics. And then I also would plug in there to get to events too. So we have events quarterly called Super Saturday. We have team events. We have Beachbody Coach Summit, which is the giant coach get together at the end of the year. This year it's in New Orleans, and new coaches, you can definitely go to that. There is still time. But going to these events, there's lots of amazing training, and you can just be around your team and get lifted up. Fill your cup up before you pour into others, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Okay, number 2, be proof the products work. Your story is what makes you relatable. And again, we don't have a storefront where we're advertising our products. Our bodies and our mind and our soul are our billboards. And so you have to be proof that the things you're doing work. Your challengers and everyone that you sign up is going to be following what you do. So you have to lead the way. You can't not drink Shakeology and expect other people to want to buy it and use it. You can't half-ass your workouts, excuse the language, and expect other people to go all in and get amazing results. And you can't not follow the nutrition plan and expect people to follow the nutrition plan when you sign them up for a challenge. So you have to be proof that these products are working. This is why you started this process. You started this process first and foremost to work on yourself. And so it's kind of a no-brainer that you would be proof the products work. You don't just want to sign up as a coach and then stop doing all of the things that brought you into this in the first place. So how do you be proof the products work? Well, drinking Shakeology, you can share how Shakeology has helped you, whether it's given you more energy, helped your GI tract, helped your skin and nails to grow, helped your skin, whatever it has done for you. Personal development. How has personal development changed your mindset? You guys probably haven't really dove into that yet, but later down the road, that's being proof that this coaching opportunity and personal development works. The workouts, you can share your before and after pictures, or you can simply share how you were only able to do 2 push-ups when you started and now you can do 20. You can also share how your nutrition has changed. You can share how this community has changed your life, being a part of a team. So just sharing and being proof that the products work is the second vital behavior. Vital behavior number 3, invite, invite, invite. So this is talking about inviting people in to share this journey with us. You can invite them to a free group, which we will cover later in your training. You can invite them to a challenge group, which is also AKA a paid group. You can invite them to a coach sneak peek to be a wellness coach themselves and to have the same benefits that you're having as a coach. So how do you find these people? So as you guys remember, when you signed up for this new coach training group, we sent you an email that told you should make a contact list of 100 people that you feel like you could help. This is called your warm market, or people that you already know. And if you really sit down and think about it, about all the people you know, friends of friends and relatives and family members and close friends and people from college, people from high school, you probably know much more than 100 people. So these are the people you're going to be inviting. What do you say? So we are going to help you out with this by giving you examples of what we say when we invite people. And these are also called scripts. The thing about scripts, the caveat that I want to tell you, is it doesn't feel good for someone on the receiving end to get something that sounds really salesy and scripty. You want to be genuinely finding something that you think would help their life and inviting them that way. So you can look at our scripts for an idea of what to say, but you really need to change that around and put it in your own words when you're inviting someone so that it sounds like you and it sounds genuine. And people will know if you're just copy and pasting or if it's not your own words. So when you go to do an invite, Taylor is going to cover this in a little bit more detail. There is a couple different ways that you do it. So what you guys have all probably seen from some of us coaches is a public invite. And this is something where we post on our Facebook wall or Instagram or some sort of social media with a public invite asking people to join us. And these are two examples on the screen of a public invite. One thing that you might be a little bit surprised to know is that public invites like this are not how we get the majority of people into our free groups, our challenge groups, or into our coach sneak peeks. It's just not. It takes the average person, I think I read a crazy statistic sometimes, 16 times to see invites or information about something before they pull the trigger. We live in a society where there are tons of media, and so when someone sees something like this, especially with the way that social media is set up with algorithms and not everyone is seeing your post, so they might not see this, they might not want to respond to it because it's in a public forum, et cetera, et cetera. So the way that most of us get the majority of our people into our challenge groups, I would say 90% or more, is privately inviting them. So privately inviting means you could have a phone call with them, you could talk to them in person, or you could send them a message via email or via something like Facebook Messenger or Instagram DM, inviting them saying, hey, I'm hosting a group. I feel like it would be a good fit for you because of X, Y, and Z. Would you be interested in more information? And then you continue a conversation on from there. So again, we are going to show you how to do this and provide you scripts. So this last question, should I be scared? Absolutely not. You should not be scared. We're going to walk you through it, and we're going to go over some reasons why in this next slide. So the hard truth about inviting. We are really lucky because this opportunity that we have, all we have to really do is talk to people and genuinely want to help them and share our story. We don't have to make it hard. A lot of this stuff is really easy to do, but if we get in our own heads, we can make it seem a lot harder than it is. Everything we do, though, is motivated by trying to help someone improve something in their life. So we're not tied to whether they say yes or no to our invites. If someone tells us no, okay, it's not time for them. Maybe they'll come around. More likely than not, a no is a not right now, meaning that a couple months down the road or maybe next year, they're going to come back and be interested. But we don't need to beat ourselves up if someone says no, because we're not tied to that yes or no. We're not tied to whether or not we get Success Club points, even though that should be a non-negotiable in your business. We can just ask more people. We can control the amount of people that we're inviting to hit our numbers. It doesn't matter what that one specific person says, yes or no. We are not in the business of trying to convince people about our product. We will talk about how to handle objections, because a lot of times when someone says no, you can dig a little bit deeper, because a lot of people have fear and that's why they say no at first or why they have objections. But if you get a hard no and you find yourself convincing them, it's not the right time for them, and that's okay, and you'll just invite someone else. So think for a second. Would you be here today if you weren't invited? No one should be saying no to that. Every single person was invited. You were probably invited to a challenge group. More likely than not, you probably gave several objections, whether that was, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't think this is a good fit, or maybe you flat out ignored us and we had to invite you several times. And then you were invited to coaching, and maybe you took some time to decide if you wanted to do that. So you had to be invited to get here, and you are here for a reason, and this is going to be such a blessing in your life. And so you want to pay that forward to other people. It's important to remember that this is not about you, it's about the people you're helping. So you kind of have to put away your fear, put away all of those negative self-doubting beliefs that are saying, I don't know if this person is going to think I'm weird. I don't know if they're going to say no. They might not like this. You have to put away all pretenses, because you never know who's going to like this. Usually you'll surprise yourself. Maybe the people you think really would be down to do this don't want to do it. Maybe the people you think would say no, never in a million years, are really excited about it. So the truth about inviting is you just got to do it. You got to remember that it's not about you, and then it doesn't matter if you get a no. So there's this awesome quote that I like. It says, you can't get better if you don't talk to people, but you're afraid to talk to people because you aren't good enough. But while you're running circles in your own head, someone else is going to reach out to the people on your list. So think about that for a second, and don't let your fear get in the way of inviting. Okay, a couple of tips real quick about inviting. I don't want to get into this too much because Taylor's going to cover some of it tomorrow. But one of the ways that makes a really effective public invite, or those two examples that I showed you a couple slides ago, is doing a method called jab, 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 right hook. And this comes from the book from Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V. And it talks about how to make your story on social media stand out, because there's a lot of Beachbody coaches, there's a lot of people inviting to stuff, a lot of different MLMs. And so how do you make that public post that I told you doesn't usually get a lot of interaction and a lot of engagement have more engagement? So the answer to this is you have to show someone the value of a product or activity consistently for 3 to 6 days before you ask them to invest their time and money into it. So let me see, what's a good example? So say I went to a smoothie shop. There's this smoothie shop in Kirkland that I really, really like. And one day I posted a picture of it and I was like, oh, this is really good. And people are like, oh, cool, whatever. Like that looks yummy, whatever. But if I posted about it consistently for 3 to 6 days about how much I like it and how cute the store is and how kind all of the people are that work there and how I've gone back several different times and how it fits in my budget and how it fits in my meal plan, by the 7th day, when I say like, hey, do you want to go check it out with me? They're going to say, heck yeah, because I've seen you raving about it for 3 to 6 days and there must be something behind this. Like there must be something special about it. Does that kind of make sense? So we want to do the same thing when we're doing an invite. So let me walk you through this really quick. And we're going to cover this in more detail later. So don't be too worried about, again, this is just to introduce you to these ideas and we're going to dive into them more later. So let's say that we're going to invite to a challenge group, which you all are going to be doing next week. So get excited. So we would make a posting plan for you, which we are going to do for all of you guys. So from day 1 to day 6, you're going to be talking about why challenge groups are amazing. And then you are going to do a challenge group invite, because that way people are seeing this challenge group's amazing, this challenge group's amazing, this challenge group's amazing 5 times. And then on that 6th day, you're inviting them and they're going to say, heck yeah, I want to join it because you just told me all of the reasons why it's so amazing. So for example, on day 1, you would say, here's a recipe that I made with my 21-day fix containers, and I love these containers because they've helped make my life so much easier, and I really understand portion control. Day number 2, here's my challenger's transformation. I'm so excited for her. So it's showing that these workouts and nutrition plans combined give results. Day 3, post a sweaty selfie and explain how these workouts are different than a gym. So for example, I really love taking my phone out by the water in my backyard and doing my workouts right by the water. And I can do that because it's not a gym and I can take my Beachbody on demand out there. So that would be a really good jab on day 3. Day 4, you could share a Shakeology recipe, and not just a stock photo of Shakeology, because anyone can just post a picture of the Shakeology cup. That's not a good post. You would want to post a picture of Shakeology and say, Shakeology has helped me with X because of Y. So Shakeology has helped me with energy because before I would eat a bunch of fast food on the way to work, but now I have this healthy meal and it just gives me so much energy. Day number 5, you could say, before these challenge groups, I was blank, now I am blank. Before these challenge groups, I was lazy, now I'm getting in workouts every day and I'm so motivated and pumped up and on fire. Then on day 6, you are going to do your invite to the challenge group. So this would actually be like, hey, I'm running a challenge group on this date. I can take 3 people. This is what you're going to get from the challenge group. Who wants to join me? And people are going to have seen for the last 5 days all of these amazing things about the challenge group. And so when you invite to this, there's going to be a lot more engagement. Then you'll wait a day and then you'll do a last call. So I hope that makes sense. And again, we're going to cover this more next week. Tip number 2. What does a hey girl mean? So I'm sure a lot of us have had a situation where somebody from an MLM has approached us, possibly, and without any relationship building or knowing our goals or knowing what we need or maybe even knowing us in general, they've invited us to something or asked us to buy some product. This has happened with me with skincare stuff, with wraps. Someone will just add me on Facebook and then say like, hey, do you want to buy my wrap? I need to sell 10. I really have a great deal. And if I say no, because let's be honest, they didn't get to know me. They don't know that I'm already doing a bunch of workouts. I say no, they completely like leave me in the dust. That's it. That's not what we're about. We're not salesy and we don't lead with sales. We're trying to genuinely help people. So what a hey girl means is just having a conversation that's a non-Beachbody conversation. This is not a vital behavior, but it's kind of a pretense to inviting. So when you're inviting from your warm market, which means people that you already know, like friends and family, people from college, people from high school that you've kept in contact with, you don't really need to do a hey girl because you already have a relationship with them and you can just go ahead and invite them. But for people that maybe you haven't talked to in a while or new people that you're adding into your network, you're going to have to build a relationship with them first. And that's really, really important because you need to like know what they need in their life and have some sort of basis before you invite them, or else it's going to seem really weird. So a hey girl means having a non-Beachbody conversation with someone, just saying like, hey, I saw you went on an awesome hike. Where did you go? I'm really into hiking too. Or, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. What kind of dog is he? Like genuine stuff that you are genuinely interested in that can just get a conversation going. And I literally say like, hey girl, blah, 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 and end in a question to start a conversation. And I keep track of this. You really need to track your business, and we'll cover this in a new topic. And you can implement this inviting and this hey girl and adding new people into your network by a process called a power hour, which I believe we're going to cover another day. So I'm going to skip over this. Vital behavior number 4, the last vital behavior, is recognition, because it feels good to be recognized. So when you're a brand new coach, you aren't going to be able to recognize people on your team because you don't have a team yet, but you can sure as heck recognize people in your challenge group. So often in my challenge groups, I have them on Saturdays share their stats, and they might say like, oh, I'm down 5 pounds, or like my jeans are fitting so much looser and I was able to get rid of a bunch of old clothes. So I post this on my Facebook. I use their permission if I use anything that could be recognizable. Otherwise, I just keep it anonymous. But I shout them out. And you can also do that with people on your team. Like if you see someone on your team that's doing an amazing job, shout them out on your social media. On the right here is an example of my little team when we first started, and I was shouting them out for all of their Success Club points and their rank advancements. So you are responsible when you start growing your team to give shout outs to your team. But at this point, just recognize teammates on Soul Sister Fitness that are doing amazing. Recognize your challengers that are doing amazing. And that's what this vital behavior is all about. How do you know that you are on the right track? How do you know that you're staying in phase 1 and understanding all of these vital behaviors? Well, when we talked about Success Club 5 the other day and how it was the only metric that we have to know that you're doing the behaviors you need to be doing in this business, that was what we meant. You're doing the vital behaviors every single day, which equals hitting Success Club 5 and advancing your business. And like I mentioned earlier, you have to be able to track your business. Why is this important? Because we are a CEO of our companies. And if you think of any business out there, they're monitoring their business. They're not going to go into it and have no idea how much money they're making and what their numbers are. Of course, they're going to know that stuff. And so you guys need to start early with tracking your stuff. And there's several different ways you can do this, and I'm going to show you some of them. Some people really like to use just pen and paper. They're old school. Some people like to use the Google Excel spreadsheets or a Google Doc. Google Streak is a Gmail app. TeamZ is a site that you have to pay for where you can upload all of your contacts from social media, and it tells you who you should talk to next for those hey girl messages or those messages that are just genuine conversations. And you can keep track of how many people you've invited for the day, how many people you've added to your network, etc., etc. There's a business activity tracker that Beachbody specifically made that shows you all of your numbers and metrics, and this is how you get to it and the link for it. So screenshot this page if you need to. I'll give you a second for that. So just to recap, you know if you're on the right track with doing these vital behaviors, if you're hitting Success Club 5, because that's our metric that tells us we're doing a good job and advancing our business. Now, if you are someone who is just doing this as a hobby and you don't want to have a substantial income, you don't want to do this as a full-time or even a serious business, if you're just doing it like here and there, not being super serious about it, then kind of disregard this. But if you are doing this as a serious business or want an income or want this to be like a substantial part-time or full-time income, you have to make Success Club 5, which is our measurement of success, a non-negotiable. And that means doing these vital behaviors every day. So here's a picture of the Beachbody specific business activity tracker. You get to just do little checkoffs, and you can write what the week is up here. Beachbody weeks actually start on a Thursday and end on a Wednesday. We end the week on a Wednesday, we get paid on Thursday, and we get paid for the previous week. So it has the 4 vital behaviors listed up here. You check off that you did your Shakeology, your workout, your personal development, and then they say add 3 people to your network, add 3 people or 3 posts to social media. With our team, I really think that doing 1 to 2 quality posts a day is acceptable, but they suggest 3. Start 3 new conversations. This would be those hey girls. Invite 3 people. Follow up with 3 people. So that could be like messages or people that you talked to in the past that said follow up with me later. Talk to 3 people about the coaching opportunity and recognize the success of 3 people. It also has you down here say how many new contacts did I add this week, how many new customers, how many new coaches, how many Success Club points, and how much commission. And you can put your goals down here. So the point is you should be tracking your business somehow so that you can look back on your weeks. If you had a really amazing week, you can look back and see how many people you were inviting. Maybe you had a really, really good week and you invited more than 3 people, and so then you'll know to repeat that kind of success what you need to do. Or maybe you had a really crappy week and you can go back and say like, okay, on Friday and Saturday and Sunday I did nothing, and so that's why I had a bad week, and this week I really need to stay on track. So you have to track your business to know what's working and what's not. And if you want to have any sort of substantial part-time, full-time, successful business, you have to track it. That being said, you do not have to use the Beachbody specific one. If you go onto Google and search Beachbody Business Activity Tracker, there's tons of ones like this. This is a really cute one that tracks Power Hour. Again, Power Hour is condensing all of these activities into a solid hour, all of the vital behaviors into an hour a day. That's including your workout. And this is an example of a Google Excel spreadsheet and how they set it up, very organized so that they could track all of their behaviors. How do you plan to be successful? So again, you control your own destiny. Remember that why that we had you make on your first day, why you want to be here, and maybe even make a vision board. You got to have those visible. So on the days when you're sitting there and you're like, nah, I don't really feel like inviting and I don't feel like doing my personal development or workout, you have that why there that keeps driving you forward. You have to think like a CEO. You own your own business. You have to plan ahead And if you're making excuses for yourself, like you're too busy, you need to reevaluate whether you want this to really be something that's a substantial part-time or full-time income and something that is an actual business versus a hobby. So, with all of the vital behaviors in mind, and to recap, that's inviting, being proof the products work, personal development, and recognition. There are certain things that as a team we are going to suggest to you are the no excuses, non-negotiables, bare minimums, things that you have to do every single day, even on the weekends. And I put this really funny meme over here. Do you want to build a business? I feel like this is my version of a mom joke. But seriously, you guys, you have to do these every single day, and don't let your excuses get in the way if you want to build a business. And those three things are, number one, working on yourself. So that means you have to be on point with your workout, you have to be on point with your nutrition, and your 10 minutes or more of personal development. So this is something that you should be doing every day anyways. Like, we all want to be healthy. We all started on our own journey first. So you have to make sure you're showing up for yourself every single day, because you can't expect other people to be following you if you aren't leading with taking care of yourself. Okay? Number two, you have to check in with your challengers. They trusted you, they signed up with you, they paid a lot of money, you got commission from them signing up. You have to be able to show up, make sure you're doing your post in your challenge group, and checking in with them morning and night. And I specifically said morning and night because I don't want you guys spending all day on your phone checking on what they say and being, you can be excited about your challenge groups, but don't spend the whole day checking on them and checking on them. Just check it in the morning and check it at night, because you want to show that this business is something that they can do if they're a busy person, like we all are working full-time jobs. So that way, if they want to be a coach, they're not going to see you checking in all day long and say, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that. I hope that makes sense. And then at least one quality post on social media. And yes, every single day, even on the weekends. And the reason why. So if you think about Target, and let's say that the hours for Target are Sunday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But one day you go to Target and it's a Monday and it's 3 o'clock and Target's closed, even though the business hours say they're open Sunday through Saturday. And you're like, okay, well, that's weird. I wonder what's going on. I'll come tomorrow. So you come back on Tuesday and Target's closed. Well, then you're probably going to say, okay, this is really weird. Maybe I'm going to go somewhere else, but I'm going to give it one more try. You come on Wednesday and it's closed and you're like, okay, something's going on. I'm going to go to Fred Meyer instead. Like, this is really weird. So it's the same thing with your business. And now you probably don't trust that Target to be open because they said they were going to be open Sunday through Saturday, and you just went there 3 times and they didn't stick to their word. It's the same thing with your social media. So again, your social media is your storefront, and you have to build trust with people. When you start this business and you're super excited and you're saying that you're going to be doing this and you're going to stick with it, I'm sorry to say this, but people are going to expect you to fail. And I don't mean to say that to sound harsh, but it's just the way that it is. People are just waiting and watching you for you to stop doing it, and they want to know if you're trustworthy and if you're going to stick with it. So you have to show up on your social media every day. And if you're having a really busy day and all you can do is just post a positive quote, then great, but make sure that you're showing up every single day and you're not just putting crap on your social media. You're not just putting crap in your storefront, you guys. You have to be putting out one quality post every day. And if you want to make your business so that you have Sundays as most of the day off besides checking in with your challenge group and doing your workout and all of that stuff, write a post ahead of time and put it in your phone so that you can still post it, but you don't have to take that time out of your day to come up with it. But you have to be showing up every day to build that trust, because as soon as you take time off, whether it be a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months, you break that trust, and I guarantee you it's going to be 20 times harder to get back in the game. Okay? So this is something that I cannot stress enough. You have to show up. You have to show people that you're not going to quit and you're going to be there for them, because there are so many other coaches that they can go start their journey with if you don't show them that you're going to be consistent and you're going to be the best choice for them. All right, so more on these no excuses, non-negotiable, bare minimum behaviors. If you find yourself making a bunch of excuses, you have to reevaluate. And again, this is not talking to the person who just wants to do this as a hobby. It's talking more to the people that want to make a part-time income or full-time income or just go crazy with this. So saying I don't have time, evaluate if you need to be in Facebook jail. Are you scrolling your phone? Are you messing around on Facebook and not doing things that are advancing your business? Are you watching TV shows? If you're doing any of the stuff like this that you could give up, then don't say you don't have enough time. Just say that this is not a priority for me, and TV is more of a priority for me, or Facebook is more of a priority for me. And I'm not saying this to be harsh, you guys. You just have to be really real with yourself, whether you want this to be a hobby or whether you want to make this really work and make a good income from it. And both of those things are totally fine, but what I don't want to happen is you having excuses and not doing the vital behaviors and then saying it's not working. Saying I'm tired. Well, how long does this really take? 30 minutes to an hour to a day. Not that much time. Get up early, block out the time, get it done. I need to spend time doing blah, blah, blah instead, like spending time with my family or friends. That's awesome. But again, how long does this take? 30 minutes to an hour. Plan ahead. All of you guys in your whys said that you wanted to change your life and you wanted to be able to provide income to your family or travel or help people. So you have to change something you're doing. You can't just do all the same things you were doing before. It's a new job and there's going to be a learning curve, and you get out what you put into this business. And I can't stress that enough. I'm not good at this. Well, you have a tribe of people on this team who want you to be successful and who have a bunch of tips to share with you. So don't worry about that. I'm scared. Well, personal development will help with that a ton. And everything you do is scary the first few times. I mean, like when you went on a roller coaster for the first time, it was scary. And the first time you walked, it was scary. And the first time you swam, it was scary. So we totally expect that this stuff might make you a little bit nervous at first, but once you start doing it, it's not going to be very scary. Okay, so we have those bare minimum, no excuses, things you have to do. And then we have the things that you should be doing daily that are called the daily income producing activities. And this is doing Hey Girl messages, doing invites, doing follow-ups, responding to people who sent you emails or messages, and adding people into your network. So we talked about the Hey Girl messages. This is non-Beachbody conversations. Inviting is a vital behavior. Follow-ups would be people that maybe you invited back in January, they said follow up with me later, and now it's March and you're going to invite them. Responding to your inbox, that's pretty straightforward. If you took the time to message people, you have to be able to message them back in a reasonable amount of time. Again, that's a trust thing. And then adding to your network. So a lot of people don't start this business with a lot of friends. Maybe they have 100 to 200 people on their social media, and that's totally fine. But you're going to run out of people to invite eventually if you kept your market exactly the same. So you need to be adding people into your network. And so yes, this is going to be some people that you may not know. It can be friends of friends. It can be people from specific interest groups. We'll go over this more later, but you have to be adding people into your network. So what are the target numbers for this? Well, that's going to look different for every single person, and it's going to look different based on your goals, but you have to make this fun for you and sustainable. And what I mean by making it fun is you can't make this something that you dread every single day, or else you're going to stop doing it. You have to make it something that feels good to you, something that excites you, and something that's sustainable. So if I were to say, I'm going to invite 40 people every single day, eventually I would burn out. That's not fun for me. That's not sustainable. So a good number for me at this point for my goals is 5 people a day. And that keeps it fun for me. It feels good and it's sustainable because the key is doing this every single day. It's not doing 21 day, 2 the next day, 3 the next day, then 40. It's doing 5 every single day. Again, how many and how much time? So the working on yourself, checking in with the challengers, and 1 quality post should be daily. Those things are things that you can do in 30 minutes to an hour. The Hey Girl messages, I would suggest when you're starting out to do 5. And the reason is you want to be having more conversations than people you're inviting, because the people you're having conversations with and building relationships, eventually you'll be able to invite them. And you don't want to run out of people to invite. So I always suggest that the Hey Girl non-Beachbody conversations are more than the invites. A good place to start for invites is 3 people a day, 3 follow-ups a day. You want to respond to everyone who sent you a message, and then adding to your network. So typically when I friend request people, I get about 50% of those people actually accept. So if my target number was 3, then I would add 6 new friends to my network, if that makes sense. So for me, I tried to add about 10 so that 5 of them would accept, because 5 is the number that works for me, that feels good and is sustainable for my goals. So we've made it to the end of this presentation. I know that this was a lot of information. I hope that it wasn't overwhelming. Again, I hope that you took notes, and please go back to look at this, because this is like the bread and butter of what you need to know as a coach and what you need to be doing daily. So here are the things that I want you guys to do, because I can give you all the training in the world, and you can do all the YouTube training in the world, and even our top coach could give you all the training in the world. But unless you do something with it, it's not going to help at all. So again, when you started this group, we asked you to make a contact list of at least 100 people that you think could benefit from either Shakeology or the nutrition plan or this awesome community or the workouts or just everything combined. So make that list of 100 people. Write down the 4 vital behaviors somewhere and have an understanding of what they mean. If you need to go back and watch this again, that's totally fine. Make sure that at this point in where you're at as a coach, you're doing your own journey every day. Okay? So this is doing your workout and being on point with your nutrition, which includes Shakeology. And we want to start to add in that personal development vital behavior as something that you're doing for your journey every day at this point too. So what PD book are you going to start with? And remember, the Slight Edge and the Compound Effect are the ones that I recommend for you guys, but you can do whatever feels good to you. But at this point in your business, on day 4 as a coach, you should be doing your workout and your nutrition and your shake every day, and then start your personal development book. We will add in the inviting and the recognition a couple days down the road, but that's what I want you guys to do for today's action plan. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that you guys have been enjoying all this training so far. I'm so proud of all of you guys for sticking with this. This is probably the most content-heavy day, so don't freak out, but this is the stuff that you really, really need to nail down, okay? So ask questions down below this video, and I hope that you guys have an awesome day. Bye!